I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your cattle market summary for the week ending June the 9th, where steady was kind of a fail last week. Largely your fat cattle trade was steady. To be precise, it was a little bit lower on a live basis and a little bit higher on a dress basis, but it was still disappointing. Your packers showed a lot of patience. They waited till very end of the week, late on Friday, to do the bulk of their trade, and there wasn't a lot of volume. That might be the one positive, is there was not a lot of volume in the fat cattle trade. But you know, as strong as things were, especially in your feeder cattle arena, and as good as box beef trade was and had that huge choice select spread there, you would have thought they would have come out and been more aggressive for the higher, better quality cattle, and ended up raising the market a little bit. But they don't have all those out front sales, as many of them, to try to get product to cover those up, and they're just kind of buying what they need right now. And of course they've still got not a larger amount of captive supply than what they normally have, but they still have their bare minimum captive supply, which is a large percent of what they need each week. But it just didn't get as wild as a lot of your cattle people were hoping, although your feeder cattle market did. But look at the board on for last week. Live cattle futures Monday was up 15 cents, Tuesday down 260 from that feeder cattle board being down a limit. Wednesday was back up 57 cents, Thursday down 15, and Friday down 17. So it kind of just winded down, where there wasn't a lot of volatility at all in your live cattle contracts. But your August closed at 123.85, which was down $2.20. June spot fats ended the week at 131.25, which was actually up 43 cents. But we're getting towards the middle of June, and it won't be long before that contract will mature, and it'll have to be a lot closer than that to what cash is trading. Feeder cattle board Monday was up $1.15. Tuesday, for no apparent reason at all, nobody could find anything to point the finger at other than just your traders in Chicago decided to try to put a spook in everybody and take her down the limit, and they did that indeed, down to 450 limit on pretty much all your nearby contracts going into next year. But then it didn't carry over anymore going into the middle of the week, and your cash market stayed strong. So Wednesday, your feeder cattle August contract was down 57, which is not as bad as a lot of people feared it would be. Thursday was down 85, then Friday back up 22 cents. A lot of profit taken from those guys trying to crater the market there. But your August feeder cattle ended the week last week at 154.17. That was down 4.55 for the week after it had been up 11.77 the prior week. But just that Tuesday deal, which you know really doesn't seem like it's on the up and up. No apparent reason. Feeder cattle futures down the limit, and that kind of threw a wrench into everything that happened last week. But still, your cash markets were pretty good. Although we talked about how the fat trade ended up. Your fats for the week on a live basis, mostly 136 to 137. That a few there early midweek there traded at some 135. Kind of fearful of that board there, but then when it come back, your that dress trade was from 218 to 221. Late it was mostly 218 to 220. But there was quite a bit in the middle of the week, 220 to 221, and that was, you know, $4 or $5 higher. But through the Thursday trade, 26,000 only, and then Friday the live trade at mostly 137 there, which could have been 50 cents lower on the top end, or it was. Still probably not going to get, I'm going to guess 60, 70,000 maybe, where we've been getting a lot more than that. The only sign that we did see those guys going after your higher grading cattle, Creekstone, which deals in a premium quality products for the most part, they did jump out there mid to late week there with 228 on the grid for choice cattle, and most of the cattle that they go after grade choice or better anyway. So that's a pretty good price for those guys that sold to Creekstone at a Ark City, Kansas there. Box beef cutout values were strong last week. On the average of trades, your choice carcasses 250.22, that was up 482 compared to the average of the previous week's trade. Select carcasses 219.84, up 161, but you saw that spread continue to spread out there, and your spread between choice and select carcasses on the average of the trades, $30.38. Those are sitting at record highs, and you would think that they would really be going after these better cattle, and they want them, but they're not going to, you know, disciplined the packers are. They're not going to create a bidding war trying to get some better cattle, and they have done that a little bit here in the recent past, but they're not into doing it a whole lot more. Slaughter for last week was real decent, 622,000. That was 72,000 more than the holiday week of the previous week because of the Memorial Day Monday, and 28,000 more than the same week a year ago, which is more significant there. But everybody worried about getting their hay put up, a lot of hay down. The weather's been pretty cooperative in most places, although it's been hot, but getting a lot of hay rolled up around. Wheat harvest is getting in full gear. It's coming through the Texas Panhandle here where I'm at and headed north. Be running strong through Kansas here in the next week or two, and your heat is really kicked up. The Southern Plains, you know, hitting 100 degrees already here in June and pretty consistently hitting that. Now we're getting to the time where your sale barns are really going to wind down. There's not going to be a whole lot of activity in them. They will start to pick up again, late in July, when you see more of those cattle coming off grass coming into town, and then they'll pick up there through fall. But right now, through your 4th of July holiday and through the dog days of summer is when most sale barn owners kind of wish they didn't have a sale or didn't have to have a sale, and a lot of them will shut down quite a bit. Look for any reason to shut down. A lot of them will shut down for sure during the 4th and other days if they can justify it at all. But we will see some of your video markets get big during the heat of this summer. Around 4th of July, early July, you usually see some big sales on your video, and that will really set the pace for the late summer grass cattle and for your fall calves too. So that's what we got to look forward to, but it's going to be a little bit hard to find a current immediate delivery market in your sale barns, because there's just not going to be a lot of cattle going. This coming Saturday, they will have a big sale at Public Auction Yards in Billings, Montana, because of course they're hosting the World Livestock Auctioneer Contest, and they'll have 5,000 to 6,000 cattle there. It's always a big challenge for whoever hosts that to get a lot of cattle put together, but it's always a good sale, and they've been getting ready for that for a long time. Of course, Green City Livestock Market will have a big sale around the 4th of July. There'll be a few other specials, but the rest of your markets are really going to get light here. But for last week, we had some pretty decent runs around. Cash feeders were $4 to $8 higher, pretty much spread throughout. Even that Tuesday down the limit, maybe late Tuesday or Wednesday morning, some of your buyers eased off $1 or $2 here and there, but they got so much competition from your farmer feeders and everybody else wanting cattle, because they know the runs are going to get light too, that it picked right up, and by late Wednesday, Thursday, your sales were just as good as they were Monday and Tuesday there. Real-time index on Beef Market Central, 152.49. That was up $4.86, similar to your trend there. You look at an individual quote late in the week on Friday, 245 head of steers in Lexington, Nebraska, weighed 928 at 157 1/4. So that's your week's markets from a home DV auction office here in Canyon, Texas. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.